Welcome to Spruce. This is a lovely international venue. First things as grooms, when you arrive, you got to find your horses and you want to be ahead of your horses. And if you're not ahead of them, you need to find them very quickly. So there are multiple entrances to Spruce Meadows. This is the entrance where they call the North American entrance. So there's lovely signage that Spruce Meadows normally has everywhere, and it says horse arrivals. So a lot of this time during the horse arrivals, this gate will be open for everyone. If it's not, usually you contact the office. They're great there and they will be able to help you navigate your way around here. But the horses will come through this gate, the horse transport. Then they'll head down to the stabling area where we'll unload them and then get them, do their temperature check and all that jazz before they enter the FEI compound.
Okay. And what is the ring behind you called?
So this is called the North American ring. They have redone it in the past 5 years. It's pretty awesome. It's usually where they have a bunch of the 2-star competitions and sometimes the 5-star competitions.
Oh.
They have really cool seating in the background there, and also it is a very large ring. It is one of the 2 very close rings to the stabling area, so it's really nice when we're in the North American ring. It's a lot easier for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the main. That's one of the rings, and then there's another ring beside there, and then there's 2 rings over on this side. Out of the 6 rings that they have here. This one right here is called the Rocky Mountain Ring. It's an L shape. So this is where the grab is, as well as they have some other jumps here, and there's a little bit of a bank. And then the warm-up area is on the other side, and there's a mini clock tower that you can run in that you go underneath. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then they have another all Alberta ring, which is
we'll go there. We'll go there.
Awesome.
Hey, and this is where everybody comes from, right? This route, or how do you say that?
I believe it's called
Canadian.
Spruce Meadows Tournament Lane, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, and that's also, I show this also because that's where, once your horses are stable, that's where the grooms enter.
Yep.
More over there, right?
Yep, and it's called Lot 10. Lot 10 or 11 if you're ever Ubering it, and that's the best spot to do it.
Okay, thank you.
So we are kind of basically almost in the barn area of Spruce Meadows. The horses would have come down this lovely road beside the All Alberta Ring and the North American Ring. And this is kind of like one of the main spots. We have the lovely paddocks. Those are the Spruce Meadow horse paddocks. So Spruce Meadows has their own horse program here. They have 2 indoor rings and 2 barns, and I don't know, they have a lot of horses here. So they use the Spruce Meadows paddocks during the tournaments. So that's what those are there for. And it's all, the horses that normally go out there are super good, but going to the competition rings, you do have to go buy them. So just be cautious of that with your own horses. But this lovely Spruce Meadows sign, behind that is the Time Faults Pub, which is a pretty awesome spot. It has some good food and also good drinks. And it's quite a fun time because you can also look out onto the All Canada warm-up, which they also called the pub ring. And there's a nice patio. It's a really cool spot to everyone just to kind of hang out and chill afterwards. There's in the tent over there, that's the Spruce Meadows Tack Shop Paddock is what they call it. And that has ice if you need it, as well as the essentials for anything that you need by grooming or barn supplies.
And that's also where you go for the All Canada Ring, right?
Correct. Yeah, the All Canada Ring is down in that direction. The farrier shop is right behind us as well. It's in the side of a hill. So this is where the public can look in to see what's going on. It's pretty cool because a lot of people are intrigued by that. But the main farrier entrance is just down around the other side. So once you come in here with your horses, they will be unloaded between B barn and C barn. And normally for the transports, especially commercial transports, you unload all of the horses into the temporary stabling in barn C or barn B and get their temperatures checked to make sure everybody's healthy before they go into permanent FEI stabling.
And those tents that we see behind those stalls, those are the FEI
Those
tents,
are the
right?
FEI stabling, and the security entrance is around the stabling area, and the tents there are 4 of them, and it's a pretty awesome stabling area. It's very clean. Most barns are very bright, and they have pretty good airflow.
And then maybe also the office, the steward office?
The steward office is right there beside the sign. The stewarding team there's a lot of them because there's so many rings here. And they're usually pretty in the barn most of the time. And so if you need one, you can just flag one down or go to the steward office.
Yeah. And then your vehicle.
This scooter, I call it scooter, is awesome. Spruce is very large, and this is really cool to get around if you need to fast. And it's all on concrete, so it's pretty easy to fly around on it.
Okay, so that's a good tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
So we're just outside the ferry station. This is Marg Southern's ferry station. So Mrs. Southern is the founding member, her and her husband found this. So they're really awesome, and they're set up very nicely. During the tournaments, there will be always a farrier in there, so you can just walk up with your horse, and if you need anything done. There is also, especially for the international ring, and usually in rings in the Meadows on the Green ring, which are further away than this compound area, they will have a farrier by the ring.
Okay.
So if you lose a shoe for in between rounds, or you need a little tweaking or a cork stuck, there's usually someone always there.
Yeah, and then there's also another FEI barn here, right?
Yeah, I believe that is the quarantine barn for the horses from Europe now for this series.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
over there?
Those are the wash racks. So it's really awesome. Spruce Meadows has hot water. It's not hot, it's warm water. So it's nice for the horses to not be frozen by their baths.
And they're about like 25 or 30.
Oh, at least.
Yeah, at least. Exactly.
So some horses are get a little spooky because it's black mats that are surrounding it. But once you get them in there, it's totally fine, and it's quite nice.
And pretty safe also, huh?
Very safe. They have cross ties, and they redid the footing in that area, so it's all mats. It's the pour mats, so mats don't even get lifted up when the horses are pawing or anything like that. So it's really quite nice. And again, it's hot water, warm water, so that helps a lot. There's also a farrier station over there if you have your own farriers that come in, or if there's an access, that's where they all go. Cool. So
okay, Danny, where are we now?
Okay, so we're at the fountain. This lovely fountain has been here forever. That's what I was told. It is now a lovely garden, but it's a good meeting point for everyone. If you say you need to go to the fountain, this is the fountain. So if you look that direction, this is where the trucks will come in and get unloaded. And then you have barn C and barn B, and those are usually where you can go temporarily to get your temperatures checks. And then once from there, you move through into the FEI compound or to national, depending on where your horses are going. Things to note here are the office is in that building over there. They have a lovely little cover area that you can go, and the ladies in the office are awesome, and their windows are right there, and they're super helpful. Beside barn C is barn D, but that's also the vet clinic. So if you need any treatments or anything like that, that's where you go. They also have stalls in there if you need to run fluids or anything like that, which hopefully nobody does.
And you can just leave the FEI closed area, right?
Correct. So the stewards here, the numbers because it's a national and FEI tour, the stewards know that the numbers are correlating to if you're in an FEI competition versus national competition. So you can go in and out of the compound as you wish, and the stewards are aware of where everyone is going.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's pretty awesome. Wash racks are there again. This lovely food trailers here during the tournaments. So it's a lot closer, and a lot of people you can get coffee and anything that you need there. If you go behind the food trailer, there's a lovely gazebo that has some snacks for the grooms and anyone else. Usually there's coffee there and water if you need it. Behind that, and there's a pool table and stuff set up there for people to chill if you want to chill outside the barn. Behind that is the lunging area. It is one big ring that has 5 spots for lunging. They usually drag it at least twice a day, and it's usually around noon, so plan that accordingly. And then beside that is a North American warm-up ring, there's a tractor in there now.
Oh yeah.
And then beyond those lovely trees that are very skinny and tall, is the Chinook ring. And there's the Chinook ring warm-up beside that, and as well as another flatting ring.
Wow.
And again, everyone here is usually pretty good that they'll have, if you are during competition, you can't flat or have non-competing horses in that ring, but there's enough rings that you can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty easy. Things to note are they have this week they're doing the jog in the Chinook ring, so that ring will be closed for just before the jog, and usually the lunging area will be closed as well because that's where everybody lines up. And then you do the jog and then you come out. They try and keep it fairly seamless in the fact that it's one directional. Stallions, they have a separate area for them to go in, and the stewards know as you're walking up, you kind of go in there, try and keep them as quiet as possible, and then they stop the jog so the stallions can go and come back, because they have found here it's not necessarily the best thing for the venue to just do all the stallions at once and then mares and geldings or whatever. So that's how they run it, and it works pretty well. If you do have a special horse that needs special jogging situations, again, the stewards are very accommodating for stuff like that. Safety is the number one. So they will help you out going forward.
Nice.
So this is the main Spectator entrance. And as I was saying, we have these lovely flags that when the wind is whipping, they get very, very loud. And so on your way to the international ring, the stabling area for reference is that direction. So you have to walk along this horse path, which usually in this lovely paddock here will be either gypsy banners or mini horses. And so you keep walking along, and then you'll keep going all the way that direction, probably about 500 meters still. And then you will have to walk around basically the perimeter of the showgrounds, because in this middle area is where there are so many different vendors. Spruce has done an amazing job, and they try and make it very accessible for the public, and because they like spectators, and to be honest, we need spectators in our sport. So that is where there are a lot of vendors. There are pony rides, they have dog trials, they have usually, in some weeks they have firefighting competitions where there's the fitness challenge where they go up the big tall structures with all their gear on. There's everything. Some years they've had farrier competitions in these areas where it's really, really cool, because again, there's everything for everyone. And okay, most of the time we're working, but we can also have the chance to go and experience this stuff too.
But the horses have to pass all this when they go to the international
exactly. So the horses have to come by this. So you are very much aware. Again, they have very good security. The stewards are very helpful in the fact that when you're walking by here, if there's people, they make them stop and you keep going. But yeah, it is kind of reality of this, but it's awesome, and everyone appreciates it, and they're like, ooh, pretty horses. And it's actually really cool if you think about it as long as you're not in a rush, think about it from a different perspective, and you're pretty proud to show off your horse and stuff like that. So.
And the ring over there, that's by the entrance where we just were, right? All
Alberta and Rocky Mountain ring.
Yeah. And these flags are going to be really entertaining if there's wind for the horses.
Yeah, they like to make a good crack, like a lunge whip. Every once in a while.
Oh, and that's also a nice, arch kind of thing. Okay, other spot.
Okay, so this is the main area where spectators will come in. They'll come through those flags, and then
wait, say that again. Oh, through the flags.
Through the flags area.
Yeah, where we just were.
And they'll come down here, and you have basically this is the main area. So we have Congress Hall over there, which is a spot where Spruce Meadows does a lot of meetings. If you see just beyond there, there's a white fence, and there's a warm-up ring there for Meadows on the Green ring, which is just beyond Congress Hall. And Meadows on the Green ring is also the soccer pitch. So Spruce Meadows has a soccer team, and that's where they play. And it's really cool because they make it so that they play during the tournament series as well, which they have done a very good job about having the safety of the horses, and the athletes will be competing at a different spot on the grounds, but they still also have the soccer match. So it was really cool. This past weekend, they had the tournament on that side. They had things in the middle where people could do things, like they had this lovely ring that's where they had the pony rides or demonstrations. They usually do dog trials there as well. And then you have the soccer match, which is over there. So it brings fans in from all aspects, whether it's soccer, whether it's equestrian, whether it's just to come out for the weekend, and it brings everyone together and all in one. So that's pretty cool.
And then and then in a second you have to tell the people the name of the soccer team, because I thought they were army people on a horse, so I didn't understand anything. But how is it called?
So it's the Spruce Meadows Cavalry, which is the soccer team. I think it's Calgary FC. And so the cavalry is interesting because that's what their soccer team is called, but they also have that for lovely Spruce Meadows prize giving ceremonies. They'll have at least 4 cavalry guards, 2 at the beginning of the parade and 2 at the end of the parade.
Yeah, that's so impressionant.
So it's pretty awesome. It's really cool to see. Spruce does a really cool job in the fact that they want to thank the sponsors, thank the athletes, thank everyone who has done this to put on a good competition. And you have to do a victory gallop. So tips for victory gallop are always leave your corks in, because it's very entertaining when the horses get excitable and they can't grip themselves.
Oops.
So that's one tip. For sure change them to a little bit smaller, but they always like to have a little grip. Always have draw lines if you need them, because again, competition is over, so you're allowed to go in with draw lines afterwards because it's prize giving. Check that rule once. Whoopsies. So also, if you are at the beginning and or the end of the line, usually the cavalry horses like to either your horse is chasing them or they're chasing you. So just be aware. It's really, really cool. Again, it's something really special that a lot of people enjoy, and it's cool to watch and cool to see. So
cool. Okay, one more thing, because they also invited me to the soccer game. But first of all, it's a professional soccer team, right?
Yeah, it's a professional soccer team in the Canadian League. And Spruce does a really good job in the fact that they let the people who are like the grooms and stuff like that, and the staff also are able to enjoy the soccer game.
Yeah.
So we can go, and usually with our Spruce Meadows passes, they let you kind of get in for a significantly discounted price. So how they've done it is, again, normally after our day's done is when the soccer match is starting, or pretty close after that.
Yeah.
So they have that you check in with the office, then you come and get your tickets. They also are doing movies on Meadows on the Green, so they have their big broadcasting screen, and you can go and sit and watch movies, which is kind of the Marvel
the Marvel thing. Yeah.
They've also done a really cool concert series this year. So they have some pretty cool headliners that are coming in, and the concert is actually on Spruce Meadows grounds. It's actually just beyond here in one of their buildings. And again, as athletes, competitors, staff, we have access to that, which is pretty awesome.
With a 50% discount code, huh?
Yeah, they're really, really cool with us.
Yeah,
so.
Nice. Okay, where are we now?
Okay, so now we are kind of a little bit more than halfway of the International Ring Walk. So if you can see there, that is a very long walk. That is the direction of where we were earlier with the flags. And I said you had to take a left turn. Well, that's your left turn up there. Meadows on the Green is to the right of me, so kind of on this side. And so you walk all the way down here, and then you have to do a turn. So we do another left-hand turn, and we head down this horse path. Always stay to the left. There will be a sign saying stay to the left there, because if you go to the right, you're going to go down into the abyss. But
so on the rubber.
Yeah, stay on the rubber.
Yeah.
So if you can see that red building over there, beyond the trees, that's the clock tower, the famous clock tower. So that's where we are headed to next.
Nice. Okay, this looks like the real deal.
This is the real deal. So this is the International Ring at Spruce Meadows. So we just came from the area where we said stay on the rubber, which is that direction. So you will lead your horses down this lovely horse path, and then we are in the International Holding Ring. So there are multiple areas where you can go cork or stud, and depending on the weather is where you're going to want to go. So you come in here, you can either hang out up here, stud your horse, and then your riders will get on and head down to the warm-up area.
Oh, they head down over there. Oh, yeah.
Or you can go into the coverall, which is also an indoor warm-up area. There are about 10 stapling areas at the end. where there'll be shavings and stuff that the horse show provides, so that in between rounds, because it's such a long walk back to the barn area, you can stay there. So another tip is bring a bucket for water. They have water down there. And so you always have to be very early down here, especially if you're for prize giving and stuff like that. So it's a good spot for hanging out. They also provide, there's a little snack area there, the farrier's down there as well. So that's a good spot to kind of hang out.
So is that where would you hang out anyway, even if you go first and you're in the jump off? Would you hang out there? Ooh.
Because unless there are 60 plus horses in the class, I would not have time to go back to the barn and come back up here and restud.
Hey, sorry, one more question. Do you have to stay with the horse? I think so, right?
Yes,
that's the best.
100%.
Yeah.
So years ago, there was an incident down there where somebody wasn't with the horse and it ended poorly. So yes, always horses, someone needs to be with the horse. The stewards are very good at making sure that somebody is with them at all times, but make sure as a caretaker you should be there at all times. So beyond the coverall is a huge grass field that's where a lot of people warm up, and between here and the grass field they usually put 2 or 3 jumps, which is a fiber footing warm-up area. There's a screen at the end of the warm-up area, so if your horse does not like screens, just be aware when you're walking down. On big competition days, this patio here, which is where a lot of the riders will hang out, this whole venue will be full. You'll have marching bands that are beyond over there. You'll have the public, which they're allowed here, and they have a barrier where they can't come up and come into the competition area, but they will be perusing all along these grass areas. Again, everyone's excited to see the horses, but if your horse is not excited to see the people, just be aware. The walk down, they have the in-gate collars are pretty awesome, and they will keep you on time. But most people will do their initial warm-up down in the indoor, on the sand or in the grass, and then you'll come up here to do your last fence, and then walk into the ring. Again, they are very saluting the playpen, saluting the sponsors. It is go through the clock tower. Again, on TV, that is the famous clock tower. It's pretty cool. When you are done, boot check is always here behind the wall, is what they call it. So they'll put mats down, and that's where they do boot check, and then you're free to be done. Again, always ask permission if you can leave, because if you're in the prize giving, they don't like you to leave unless you have a parade horse, as they call it up here for you, because they try and keep everything going. Other things to mention is, again, with parading, they have the cavalry horses that will come down this horse path, as well as a lot of other things, so just be aware for safety reasons for your horses if they get a little excitable about them. And because they're in full garb and everything, so just be aware of everything. And it's really cool. Like, you still walking through the clock tower, it's a pretty surreal experience.
And how many years have you been doing this?
I've been coming to Spruce Meadows for 15 years.
And it's still really exciting.
Still walking through that clock tower, it's still pretty cool. And then I always video the rounds, so you can either go to the left or right. I always go to the left because you can see the ring a lot more. But you can also do that to the right, whatever you so choose. And that's it. That's it.
And the fact that it's so quiet today is because we do it.
It's on a Monday.
On a Monday after we've done our horses, right?
Exactly, and we'll just get busier.
Exactly. So during the week, this won't be possible.
Okay,
thanks. Okay, well, this is it, right?
So this is the international ring. As you can see, it's very large. They have their natural jumps, natural obstacles, in there. The double Liverpool is a very famous double Liverpools by the in-gate. The bank, this is the old bank, which is by Canada House. They have a brand new restaurant going in where the old bank used to be, but they still have the smaller bank, which is great. And this is all the venue seating, and it is like electric atmosphere in here. It is really something. So you have all the grandstand seating there, grandstand seating here, everywhere else. Like, it's really cool. It's really cool. Interesting things to note that I forget to say, because the weather changes all the time here. If the wind picks up all of a sudden, head back to the barn.
Oh, really?
You'll have a rainstorm coming in pretty quick. So things to know, always bring your rain sheet to the ring, especially down to this ring, because if the wind changes and the temperature changes, there's a storm rolling in from the mountains. And get back to the barn as fast as you can.
So what would you advise to bring to the international ring?
I bring everything. If there is a chance of rain, you bring your rain, your rain sheet. I always have a rain jacket in my ring bag just because I don't want to get wet either.
Yeah.
But if you are going up for a competition where there's a possibility that you're going to be staying up there for a long time, bring a water bucket, bring a halter, prepare to stay up there for a long time.
Sure.
So when you are coming to Spruce Meadows and there is competitions in the international ring and you will have horses in there, be prepared that your day will be spent at the international ring.
Yeah.
So
how do you do it with your other horses then?
hopefully you have friends or you have other co-workers that can help you. So a lot of the time they normally space it so that the classes up here don't start until kind of mid-morning, but you'll be up here from mid-morning to mid-afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay, well.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, Danny, what's here?
So if we keep walking this way, and this is, again, a lot of the riders will hang out up here. It's really cool because they can watch the ring, which is right behind us, but also be very close to the moral areas. So this is actually a very good perspective to see where everything is.
And just for perspective, that is where we just were talking, right?
Yeah, that's where we came in, over there.
Yeah.
So then you can walk your horses down into the coverall, where a lot of people will hang out just around here.
Yeah.
Because you can see there's a little spot for the riders to get through. And beyond that is where the grass warm-up area is.
With a lot of fences, right? Not only those 3 that I see now.
There's normally 6 to 8 fences in there.
Yeah.
And there'll be 2 or 3 fences in the coverall, and then 2 fences out here on the ground, on the sand as well.
So lots of space.
Lots of space to do stuff.
Yeah. Nice. Well, Danny, thank you so much. It was very informative. I think.
Pleasure. Hopefully everyone enjoys this venue as much as I do.
Yeah. Okay, last thing.
Okay, so this is the stabling area, and we have all the lovely coveralls for the barn, and the stalls are really nice. They're quite big and tall, so if you have naughty horses, it's very helpful. They have manure pits and bedding and everything that you need, and they're very accessible for bringing that to us and taking the manure away, and it's pretty awesome. So no complaints for that.
And there are paddocks, huh?
And there are paddocks. If you need a paddock, you can book it ahead of time with the office. And it's really nice because it is your paddock and you lock it and no one else can go in there, so it's all for you.
And you can park close to the
you park really close to the barn, which is nice. And that's about it.
Well, thanks a lot, Danny.
No problem.
Let's take one last shot from you. Bye-bye.
Bye.